everybody, welcome to the Act Out. From open mic to the big stage, comedians tell us how stories were made. My name is Duck. Today, I'm with what I think definitely in my top 5, 100% of comedians DFW. First time I saw you, you were doing a guest spot for Monique.
Yep.
In the Arlington Improv, and oh my god, you fucking killed it. It was so good, hilarious. But even before the guest spot, you had me cracking up so much. And that Ninja Turtle you were talking about?
Oh my god.
Yes, that evidently the bartender got you really drunk. You said, what'd you say?
Well, no, she mixed up a drink. She's like, hey, I just made this drink. I call it a Ninja Turtle. Try it. And I drank it, and I was cool until I realized I was sweating so hard that all my makeup, like my makeup was melting. Because I got my whole face done. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was just seeping through my pores, and the makeup was just melting. I was like, shit, let me just go in the bathroom and wipe all of this off. I was like, oh.
So we got Jaljuda. Is it Jaljuda D or just Jaljuda?
It's Jaljuda. The only reason I put D on there is because somebody reported my page to Facebook as not a real page. And so they're like, scan your ID. So I took my business card and slid it over my ID. And like, I had to put a last name. So that's the only reason it says Jaljuda D.
That's what I was thinking. Because
it pissed me off. Like, they're like, oh, you're not a real person. You have to provide your ID and prove it. And now you can't change your name. I was like,
I don't know how I got away with Ducky Winslow on there either. Like,
bro,
so
like nobody reported you. People be petty.
Yeah, that's weird.
People be petty. I have people go back for like 5 years and report shit I posted.
Oh, that's ridiculous. But Jaljuda, yeah, we got Jaljuda on the show. Super excited for you to be here. Thank you so much for joining us. How long have you been doing comedy? Has it been 10, 13
years?
It'll
be 10 years on October the 9th, and I'll be in LA doing Chocolate Sunday. So
oh, that's awesome. What is Chocolate Sunday?
So it is at the Laugh Factory. So basically, it's a whole bunch of black people getting a 3-minute chance to make people laugh.
Oh, that's awesome. So Chocolate Sunday, when is that again?
It is October the 9th. It is in Los Angeles at the Laugh Factory. I'm excited. So if y'all see me begging for money within the next few weeks, that's why, because plane tickets are very expensive.
Yes, they are.
Hotels are even more expensive, and I do not want to stay in La Adventurer again. The prostitutes were very nice there, but I don't want to stay in the hotel ever again in that side of LA.
So you did go to LA for a while too. Were you living there or just?
No, I went for the Comics Rock Convention 2 years in a row. The first year, I did really good. I was killing it. I won my showcase. I got to do 5 tour dates with Hope Flood. The next year, I went out there. Unfortunately, I did not realize my kidneys were failing.
What?
While I was there, because I was sick. My legs were like swelling. I felt like crap. And when I got back, like, I was just so sick. And I had to be admitted to the hospital. And they're like, yeah, you only have 20% of your kidneys left. So, yeah, we got to send you to Parkland. And that kind of just, it derailed everything, because I felt like my career was getting really good at that point. And then it just.
So you had to take care of yourself for a time.
Yeah, and that's why I left the DFW, because like I was working in downtown Dallas. You remember when that guy had shot at the parade? Mm-hmm. I was working downtown in like the really big building with the green, and I was working in that building. And I remember my manager was like, oh, y'all can't be afraid. Da, 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 da. I was like, bitch, I quit. Like, these people shooting down here at this job at a call center working for Marlboro. Girl, kiss my ass.
Not worth it.
And after that, I just, I couldn't afford my apartment. So me and my family packed up and moved back home, because I'm sick. We broke. Too much shit was happening. And
so where's home at? Where are you from?
I am from a very small community called Bland Lake, Texas. It is outside of a very shitty town called St. Augustine. Like, I lived in the woods. I was the only kid, like, literally for decades. I was the only child there.
Yeah.
Like, so, but I loved it.
Big family then?
Kind of, but I'm the youngest, so everybody is grown and gone and having kids and doing stuff, and it's just me. Like, my mom was married at 15, had a kid at 15, had a kid at 16, then had another one in her 20s, and then me in her 30s, and like, all my siblings were good and grown by the time I came around. So
yeah. So what was it like being a kid? Like, was it fun? Were you the funny kid?
For the most part, yeah. Just, I talk a lot.
You're so naturally funny. Like, I just imagine it being like that when you were younger too.
Yeah, I used to have a cousin that would laugh at me all the time, and I would get so mad because I didn't understand. I didn't understand why. My mom was like, "He's laughing at you because you're smart," and I was like, "I don't like it." But now I get paid for it, so I guess it worked out.
Yeah. So you're cracking up your cousin. How about in school? Were you like the class clown?
The thing is, I was really funny at school, and I should have got that fucking class clown plaque, which I'm gonna make my own, because you do anything on the internet. But they're like, oh, you missed too many days of school to get, girl, fuck you, Miss Horton. But yeah, like, I was just wilding out because, like, I was bullied, and, like, what they say, the only way to keep from crying is laughing and keep from beating a bitch ass. So, like, you know, I was funny. I made my friends laugh. I cracked up. I actually think I wrote my first joke at 14 in the middle of a Brookshire Brothers. Because he has a grocery store. I saw this article about Martha Stewart. And at the time, I don't know what my beef with Martha Stewart was. That's like when she was doing all that shit on TV. And I made a joke about her trying to wash a cat, bathe the cat, and getting mauled. And like I acted out the scene in the middle of the grocery store. My mom was like in tears. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool.
So I got this. Yeah.
I had a pastor tell me, oh my God, you should be a comedian. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But I was like a kid at the time, so I'm like, okay.
But
whatever.
so people were kind of putting the idea in your head at that time, and you're doing the act out, which is one of the hardest things to do in comedy.
But at 14, I mean, shit, I watched a lot of anime. I was probably trying to go Super Saiyan at some point. So, you know.
So did you ever watch a comedian? Like, who was the first comedian that really inspired you?
Oh, my dad loved comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my dad watched Cheech and Chong and Richard Pryor. I just now realized my dad smoked weed. Cheech and Chong. Like, we watched so much Cheech and Chong as a kid. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't get it, but, you know, I was like 5. Like, Richard Pryor. I was watching Friday when I was a kid. Like, they took me to Walmart to meet Debo because his family's from my area. Mm-hmm. Technically, he's my cousin on my dad's side. And he did, like, you know, a meet and greet, and I met him. He was like, you too young to watch Friday. And I was like, eh. But, yeah, like, my dad was, like, the main person behind me liking comedy because he watched a lot of, you know, comedy movies, Harlem Nights. We were watching Friday. We were watching so much Eddie Murphy. Oh, my God, the Beverly Hills Cops. Like, that was my shit. Golden Child. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think of the first comedy special I saw was maybe Raw.
Yeah.
I think that's, like, one of the first ones I remember. But then I remember, like, staying up to watch, like, Comic View as a kid. So, it's, like, it's everywhere.
The Comic View, for me, I always watch that, and I watch Comedy Central Presents. And so those were, like, the backbone of, like, where I love comedy.
Oh, yeah, the quintessential.
Yeah.
And then, like, my uncles, like, Jesus Christ, my uncles were so funny. Like, I had one uncle, every time he would come, he had a different car, but it always smelled like Black and Mild. Like, he would wild out, get drunk, and play on the piano. And, like, they remind me of, like, Eddie Griffin. Like my uncle reminded me of an Eddie Griffin type. But it's just, like, my dad's side of the family, they're really funny. And, like, when I was saying, you know, you got to laugh to keep from crying, like, they were orphans. They ended up raising each other. Their brother was adopted out to Dallas because he was a baby. So it's like they went through a lot of stuff, but they were really funny people.
Right.
So it's just like, it's always something to laugh about, you know, so.
I like what you said earlier, you know, because the bullied thing, I was bullied too, a lot. And so I would find out if I can make my bully laugh, they wouldn't beat the shit out of me. And that made the world a difference.
So you had boy bullies. I had girl bullies.
Oh, they're worse.
Bitches use psychological warfare. And I was like, bro.
Yes. They are way worse. It's not fun. It really isn't. But like
my bully got 10 kids now. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stand. If you see this, fuck you and your 10 children.
When was like the moment you decided to try comedy?
October of 2013. The crazy thing is, when I was pregnant, I used to ride the bus. I talked to the bus driver. He's like, you're funny. I want to send you like that little acting school. And he's like, I'll do all this and da-da-da. And I'm like, dude, I'm pregnant. I'm not trying to do all that. That was like in 2009. I was like, if I do comedy, you know, it's cool whenever. But I didn't decide to do it until my dad passed away. And I was like, you know what? My dad always made people laugh. And, you know, he liked, you know, making people laugh. And that seemed to make him happy. I was like, I'm going to try it. And if I suck at it, nobody will ever know because I'm going to use a fake name. But if I'm good at it, I'll come back, you know, once a month to try to do it, you know. But, dude, like, I hit that stage. I did my 5 minutes. Like, people were standing up, clapping, and I was like, oh
wow.
Shit. I was like, okay, I'll be back next week. They were like, how long you been doing comedy? I was like, 5 minutes. I was like, bro, this is it. I was like, I'm addicted. This is it. Because my best friend came with me and she's like, oh my God, bitch. I was like, I know.
So you killed it from moment one.
The first time I was like, oh shit. And my first set was about sucking dick. So
I mean,
like,
were you nervous at all? Or were you just like, I'll just get on stage?
Because I was like, if I suck, I'm never coming back. So I just got up there. I just like balls to the wall, did it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll come back next week.
I could see you being good from the very beginning.
Because I loved it. I was like, oh yeah, this is it. Like, My first time on stage felt like being in love with somebody and they love you back. And I was like, oh yeah, this is the validation I needed. I need to talk to my therapist about this. This is the validation I needed.
So did you write anything, or you just kind of had an idea that you were going to talk about that?
It's just stuff that I talked about. And I was like, off the dome, let me try it. Because I didn't know shit about the actual workings of comedy. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, okay, let me go up here and say this funny shit. And then go. And like, it was going good. And then the third week I had a lull. I was like, I think I need to write stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let me write some stuff. So, yeah.
So how was that process of finding your writing style? Did you take a class, or did you just all naturally went in and just...
Well, I've always been a writer. Like, I used to write... My mom has books of poetry and shit that I used to write from a kid. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, if I look at it now, like, oh, Lord. But I've always been a writer. Like, little short stories, poetry, like... I never wrote a whole song, just like verses and stuff like that. So I was like, I've always been a writer. So it was something that kind of came naturally to me. But I had a strategy. I went in there and I was like, who's the funniest motherfucker at this open mic? And I want them to be my mentor. And at the time, it was Malcolm Miller. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, well, you're going to be my mentor. Even though he called me Miss Piggy. Oh. It pissed me off. Because like after I got off stage, he's like, give it up for Miss Piggy. I was like, bitch. Because I didn't know comedians roasted you. I was like, bitch.
Yeah.
But like, he helped me kind of figure out, okay, write and do this and that. And it helped me discover, like, he can stand in an empty room and perform. He can stand on this stage and perform to these chairs. I don't work like that. I had to have energy. Yeah. I had that back and forth energy. I can stand up here and say my set, but if I'm not feeling that back and forth energy, I'm not really into it.
Right.
Like, some people are scrambling and read their stuff. I can't do that before I go on stage, because if I do it, I'm going to just be in my head. So I got to be like, okay, dot. Hit these points and go. So it's like I've learned what works, what doesn't work, what puts pressure on myself, what doesn't. So it's been like, a learning process. I'm still trying to learn, different stuff with the way everybody's doing stuff on TikTok and Instagram. I'm not.
The social media aspect of it is huge. And you would be really great at social media, because I feel like you improv when you're on stage. You play with stuff and you play with the audience. You know what I mean? I'm good
on social media if my face don't have to be on it. It's something about being like in front of a camera that makes me self-conscious. But like on Clubhouse, I was God, I was killing it on Clubhouse.
What's
in
Clubhouse?
Quarantine? Oh, it's an app where like you can go and you have discussions with people. You have a little picture on there, but you don't have to see each other. You just talk. I was killing it. I was doing open mics on there. I won a contest with the Laugh Factory, which I still got to call that in because I'm supposed to have a little spot or whatever. But it's just like I was meeting other comics. Charlie Talbert, like, he's dope. He's a writer. He was Angus. You remember the movie Angus?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was him. That's him. He's really cool.
Crazy.
I connected better with Rodney Perry there. Like, oh God, I love Rodney. He'll be here, I think, in like September, so I gotta pop up. But I was connecting with like other people and meeting other comics and stuff, and like I was just open micing, like fixing jokes, building jokes, and like it kind of helped. And I was also using a live show. I was doing like little shows on there and open mics and stuff. So yeah, it's like during COVID, I was like, okay, let me try to work some of this shit out, because I was not really trying to do shows because, I don't really have kidneys, so I can't just be out there raw dog in the air and shit. So
yeah, live show's a pretty great app too, because you can get on there and do an open mic almost every hour of the day. So
and they like have it where you can record your shows live and stuff, and they're cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool app. I suggest everyone try it out at least once. If it's not your thing, that's fine.
And it records your set for you, and you can save it and go over your set like that. Like, I got so many of them damn things saved.
Yeah. That's the thing I was wondering. Do you make up a lot of your set on stage, or do you have a set like, these are my jokes? Because it feels like you're always playing with the audience constantly. Like,
since COVID, I have a set that I've been running, and like now that I'm back on stage and I can open mic again, because like I haven't been to a mic. Oh my God, because there are no mics there, really. Yeah. So I haven't been to an open mic in like 5 years. I've just been doing shows and like trying to run stuff there. And
yeah, but you're kind of at the point where you don't need the open mics anymore, because you're good.
Like, but it's like really sometimes I like to work some ideas, because sometimes the way my mind works, I'm like, ooh, Jesus.
Yeah.
But I know in my head what I want to do, and then sometimes like I'll get on stage and I'll just autopilot. And like somebody, that was really funny what you said. I'm like, what did I say? I was like, oh shit, I did say that. So sometimes it's like autopilot, and I just blank and I go and I just do it, and then I'm like, oh shit, I did say that. That's funny. I should probably write that down.
Yeah. Or do you record your sets, or do you...
Sometimes, like the majority of my sets that I had recorded before, everything happened, my phone got stolen, and like all of it was on that, and I was like, and I had to erase it And I was so pissed about that.
Yeah, I would have been super frustrated.
But I'm starting to try to record now. I'm trying to get some decent cameras because, like, the iPhone cool, but this shit is old. I don't upgrade. I'm prepaid. I don't get no upgrade. Upgrade is going on Amazon and finding whatever they got that's in my price range.
I was going to ask, the podcast, you do 2 podcasts, right? Mm-hmm. What are they called again?
A couple of blerds. That's my main podcast with my boyfriend. And I have one called Fat Girl Magic. It was on hiatus until the move. So once I get everything set up and we get our little space rebuilt, then I can start back doing it. But it's weird because I have to talk to myself, and I don't like talking to myself out loud. The conversation I have in my head, that's fine. Me and the bitches be mean. But like just to talk to myself and then like, here, world.
Well, it takes a lot of talent to do that. There are certain comedians, like Bill Burr is probably one of the best known comedians. So but he does that where he just talks out everything.
And that's what my boyfriend does on his podcast. I'm like, how the hell do you, because he's like, I know he's well past 200 episodes. It's like, how the hell do you do that? That
is talent. I tried it one time. I hated it. I was like, I'm never doing this again. But what I was going to say is, do you ever go back to your podcast and get material from them?
Not really. I probably should.
Yeah.
Because like my cousin will listen to it. She'll be like, girl, you said that was so funny. I'm like, okay, girl.
That's what Bill Burr does, though. He goes back to his podcast and pulls like 90% of his stand-up from it at this point. Like, it's insane.
Man, it could work. I might have to try it.
How many episodes are you in now?
On a couple of blerds, I want to say almost 40.
Oh, wow.
And on Fat Girl Magic, it's just 3 because we just started it. And then we got in the process of moving. And that took up so much time because we was like up here every week at apartments trying to get paperwork done, get stuff done. Like the drive was killer. Sometimes we drive 4 hours up, drive 4 hours back, or drive and stay the night. It's just, it shouldn't be that hard to get an apartment. Like, do y'all want our money or not? Like,
how are you doing with the kidneys and everything?
They still don't work.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's cool. I've accepted it. Just like my baby daddy, they let me down when I needed them the most.
I'm sorry.
I joke about it. It's like I joke about. I can't joke about it in front of black crowds because they get sad. But like white people be like, "Oh God, that's funny." I was like, "Thank you." But it's just like, I mean, I've accepted it. It is what it is. I'm giving my 40 acres and a mule through the money they're paying for my treatment. I don't know if I want to transplant or not because that seems like a lot of work.
But you said you do dialysis right now.
Yeah, it's boring. It's fuck.
I'd be writing during that time or playing Switch or something.
Bro, I just sit for 4 hours and watch TikTok and sleep.
And that's daily?
3 days a week.
Oh, wow.
It's boring. It's like a really boring job that nobody fucking wants.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry you're going through that. Definitely, probably do the kidney at some point. Yeah.
I will, but like they'll pay for dialysis until the day I die. But kidney transplant, we only pay for shit for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Then you pay out of pocket. Those meds are like rent. Like my cousin was paying $1,300 to $1,800 a month for his anti-rejection drugs.
What? Wow.
He had his kidney for 20 years. And then his kidney ended up failing, and then he ended up having heart issues, and he passed away. But $1,300 to $1,800 a month for meds. But what's the dude who owns the Mavericks, Mark Cuban?
Yeah, I think so.
Shout out to him because he has a pharmacy website where you can get your medication for super fucking cheap. Like even the transplant meds are super cheap. So if you're struggling to pay for your meds, check out his stuff. Like look up Mark Cuban Pharmacy and like it's super cheap.
Do you ever talk about this on stage?
I did more so during Clubhouse and doing like those mics and stuff. I came up with a joke about like get a kidney from a bodybuilder so I can get my summer body ready because obviously it's not it, or from an accountant so I can get a house, or from a gay dude so I get a man, like just stuff like that. And like I have a whole set about it. I got a whole set about my funeral, but like black crowds get real like oh, like, oh Jesus Christ, and I'm like, no, don't be sad, it's funny. Laugh at this.
Why do you think that it has that reaction? Black and white crowds or different crowds.
Because we'll laugh about slavery, but y'all can't laugh about kidney failure. Like, goddamn, y'all know I was eating soul food and shit, and goddamn greens cooked in grease shit.
You said one of the funniest fucking things ever to me. Whenever that whole drama over the rope being stolen at the
Harlem Improv. My God.
And you were like, what black folks you know who's going to steal
a fucking rope? Like, what the fuck? I forgot about that.
That shit was so ridiculous.
How did you think about that
Because
shit?
I remember it to this day because it was one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard because I was not expecting it. And this is at the beginning of like my journey in comedy, like working at the clubs. How did you get on the Monique show?
Okay. That's okay. That's a little bit of a long story. Okay, it actually started here. So crazy thing was, I had tickets to see Eddie Griffin. He's supposed to be here. Last minute, canceled or rescheduled, and they're like, "Hey, here's your money back." Then I saw Monique was coming. I was like, "Hell yeah, bitch!" I called my best friend. I was like, "Hey, these motherfuckers like $160 for 2 tickets. You coming? Like, if I'm gonna spend this money, you coming?" And she's like, "Okay, yeah." So we came, and I was sitting like, literally like right in this area where my bags and stuff are. And like she came on stage, and like I just had a moment, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Because it's when I first started doing comedy. People were like, "Oh, you need to dress more feminine. You don't talk about stuff like that's not ladylike. No man wants to hear." And I was like really struggling because I'm like, my shit's funny.
Yeah.
Like, but do I need to change it? And I stood. Like, I sat in that seat and I watched her talking about sucking dick and all this shit. And I was like, I paid $160 to hear her say the type of shit I say for free. I was like, I'm not changing shit.
Yeah.
She hugged me. Like, she walked through and she hugged me.
Yeah.
After the show. And, like, because we've been making eye contact. She hugged me and she talked to me. And I was like, oh, spiritual fucking moment. Because I've been watching Monique since I was a little fat.
Yeah, me too.
So I was like, oh. So when she came to Arlington, like, I wrote her a letter. I sat down and I wrote her a letter. And I was like, thank you so much for doing what you do. Because people had me feeling so bad for the way that I was talking and the way that I was dressing and the things that I'm doing. I was like, you've motivated me to continue doing comedy. I was like, I'm only 6 months in, and they really had me ready to quit. And I saw Tone X, and I was like, could you get this to Monique? And he was like, yeah, no problem. And he went to the back, and I'm sitting at the bar talking, being funny, doing shit. And this lady comes out, and she's like, Monique wants to see you after the show. Or no, Monique wants to see you. And it's Robin.
Miss Robin.
Yeah, her cousin. And doesn't she like manage or something?
Yeah.
And she pulled me to the back, and Monique talks to me, and she was like, you have 5 to 10 minutes on tomorrow night's show. And I was like, I was so fucked up. I was driving out the parking lot of the Improv with no headlights on. I was like, shit. I was like, okay, I might want to turn these on. And I went back the next night, and like 6 months of comedy, I had my first guest spot. And I could tell, like, from the recording, I was like a little, because I was nervous, but I did it, and I did good. And she was like, oh, you did good, baby. And I was like, and like, the reaction from other comics is what kind of just threw me off a little bit. Some of them were like, oh, shit, that's dope. And some of them was like, so who dick did you suck to get? And I was like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's the reaction from especially in the community. Like, they love it or hate it, or they pretend they love it and they hate it, and like, who knows? But at the end of the day, it's your time on stage.
Yeah, and I was
and
like,
what
that's
you were
my
able to do.
Comedic hero. I was like, so like when you see Sticks with Eddie Griffin, I was like, that's his hero. That's dope. That's awesome to see you interacting with these people. Like, I am so happy for him. I fucking love it. Yeah. But then they were like, oh, so how did you even, like, I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, dude, your journey ain't my journey. I'm like,
no, then that's exactly the thing. Like, there's a comedian I did a podcast with. His name is gone out of my head right now, but he did the same thing. Where his third show, he was in front of 3,000 people.
Jesus,
that's
Christ.
Insane. Like, what is his name? It's Paul Gyrus.
Paul Gyrus, that motherfucker is a beast.
Yeah, so Paul Gyrus, he was on the podcast here. He was in town.
That's
and
my homie.
Like,
I was messaging my dad. I was like,
oh, that's awesome.
You bastard.
Yeah, because he's from Arlington. So I got to ask you this. I'm large, and you make a lot of jokes about your weight, right? Is that hard for you? Because, like, my jokes are about my weight, and it's not hard for me.
I'm blatantly fat.
Yeah, but somebody roasted me the other day, and I was like, oh.
I don't roast. That is one thing I see y'all been doing. I will never. Because
I'm going to say, so good at it.
No, I'm not. Because I'm sensitive. I will cry in the car, but I will say, if I roast, I'm going for a headshot immediately. I want to say some shit that people got to hold you back. Oh, I'm a fat bitch. That's why your grandma ain't got no leg, bitch. Like, what? Tell that diabetic bitch she fat. Like, what?
That's what I'm saying. You'd be so good at it.
No, I would not, because I can't fight. I low blow. We're like, oh.
You need to do it.
Oh, because I hit hard, because I'll find some deep, dark shit. Oh.
Yes, that's
my baby daddy left me, but your child died, so he didn't want to be with you either, so we both alone, bitch. Like, no. Like, no, you don't understand.
That would be so much fun, though. It'd be so much fun. I would love it. Yeah, I'm telling you, you got to come out to Will Call and roast. Like, it's so much fun. And then the other thing we do is we do 5-minute sets, and then we do 2-minute heckle. We let the audience heckle.
Nope, I can't do that either.
You can't do that?
No, because I'm going to cuss their ass out. No.
That's
I don't like
good.
being heckled. No, I hate it.
Yeah.
I feel like, why you fucking with me? I'm disabled. Leave me alone. I got my placard. Stop.
I love it. I love being heckled. It's one of my favorite things because it's like, oh, I wasn't prepared for that, so fuck you.
I know. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm straight.
No, that is so. Have you been heckled before?
Yes, I'm like, what the fuck, bitch? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I am a Leo. This is my moment. Leave me the fuck alone. Like,
that's the way to deal with it, though. Is just tell them to get the fuck out or whatever,
I hate it.
Yeah. So what was it like the first time you hosted a gig? Where was the first place you went?
The crazy thing is, I probably hosted like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't remember the first time I hosted. I was probably a hot fucking mess. But I remember,
You get nervous before you go up?
I was adrenaline.
Yeah.
I don't call it nerves. I call it adrenaline.
I call it excitement.
Because if I don't get it, then I was like, oh shit, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
But like the one of the first time I remember is when I worked with Arsenio Hall.
Oh,
like
wow.
I was his featured, which kind of slash, and then I had to bring him up, which that shit was so dope.
Yeah.
Cause I grew up watching him.
Yeah.
Sitting in the bed talking about, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
5 years
What was
old,
it, the dog pound? Like.
Cause you don't remember like Arsenio Hall used to be like, whoop,
Yeah,
whoop,
yeah.
whoop. Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, and he's so professional. It's
He's so
ridiculous.
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And his green room was lit.
Yeah, what was he doing?
They had like all types of fruits and
Oh,
veggies
okay.
and shit. And Chardonnay, I don't like it, but it was
No.
nice to have it. I
No.
don't like champagne either.
Yeah.
I like poor people
I
shit.
hate champagne.
It burns.
It gets. I was gonna say it gives me a hangover before I'm even drunk. I'm like, I'm so good on this.
I was like, I like poor people shit like Boone's Farm. That shit tastes good. This is horrible.
Just straight cheap whiskey. That's where I'm at. Like, I love it. So you didn't host much, but you feature quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're saying? And
oh yeah, because I feel like it takes a lot of brain capacity to host, and I want to try to get into it a little bit more, but it have to be like on my own terms. And
well, it's great that you kind of skipped over to feature. How many times have you headlined?
damn, I don't even know. A few?
Yeah.
A handful? Because mostly I'm just featuring. Because, like, I feel like when I really want to, like, I've done, like, 30-minute headlines or 20 minutes. I feel like I want to get to where I can
I could see
do
it coming naturally.
that long
to you.
storytelling.
Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour is a long time to ask for an audience to pay attention. But I could see you holding on to an audience
Yeah, because
easily.
I got the attention span of a cricket, and you never know what's going to happen with me.
You are a storyteller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that is, to me, I think one of the most challenging forms of comedy.
Yeah, because people want bam, 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 like
Right. But you
punchlines.
do that. You do that within your storytelling. Like, we have a clip on the Improv TX YouTube page where you talk about going on a date with your friend as a third wheel, and it's hysterical, you know? And so go check out that clip. It's awesome. But yeah, you tell the story, and you can do just regular jokes too, because you talk about being a stripper and your name and stuff like
Chicken
that.
strip.
Yeah.
My daughter knows my stripper name. I was talking about stripper, and she said, chicken strip. I was like, shut up.
But yeah, so you took to that naturally, being a storyteller. Like your first time going on stage, I take it.
When you talk a lot, you better be a storyteller, because like that's just like I'm the type of person. But like in conversation, I'll jump from so I've always been like that. Just who I like. My family. If you meet my family, it's a few cousins in particular. If you talk to me, you're like, yeah, I get it. I get it. Because like we're all talkers, so it's just like on my mom's side, just talk, telling stories, gossiping, telling the same story 3 or 4 times. So it's just, I guess something comes naturally. Something you hear all the time. Like, we got stories where we'll talk about, you remember when so-and-so failed? Oh, my God. And we'll just relive the story. Or, oh, you remember that one time you shot at my dad and it missed and it ricocheted? Yeah, like, just shit like that. Just, that's all we do, like, relive stories and stuff.
Is that what you do on your podcast, too? Is it just kind of like reliving stories, or you do, like, news stories, or how do you work that?
It's a combination. Like, we'll just start, oh, we're reviewing a movie, and then we'll go off. You see this shit on TikTok, or then da-da-da-da. Did you, oh, you know this game is coming out? Oh my God, did you watch that episode? Did you see Luffy? Oh my God, One Piece, we ain't finishing that
I was going to say, you're a huge nerd then. You love anime? Oh, Kirby.
Sailor Moon Kirby.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
My boyfriend has JoJo Kirby.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it's semi-matching tattoos.
So you're a huge nerd. And so I know that you talked about that watching anime, which is hilarious. But like,
I've been watching this.
Where does
since
that
third
come
grade.
from?
Okay, God, it's gonna make me sound pathetic. I did not have a lot of friends as a kid, and so like I remember coming over to my cousin's house one day because they had satellite and cable. We had fucking antenna. So I was happy. I was happy to go to their house.
I hear you on that. We had the 3 channels plus the one that kind of came in on the TV.
You miss it, and then you gotta.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And then you gotta move the smaller dial. It doesn't work.
Outside and turn the antenna.
Did you
I
ever
can't
hook up
see.
the wire and have the coat hanger and stuff?
I was the coat hanger. What the fuck do you mean? You have to watch TV and like, I got it. Don't move. Like shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it was ridiculous. And like, we would try to get in the like the static was so bad. Like, I remember watching Seinfeld with like on a black and white TV, and it was
Jesus
such
Christ.
bad.
You ever lose the pliers and now you can't change the TV?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
Bro,
ridiculous.
I
So
went to her house and it was like 3 p.m. It was like 3 something. And the show came on. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? It was Sailor Moon. And I was like, oh my God, she's klutzy. She good. Oh, this bitch dumb. But she got friends. I was like, oh my God. And I was like obsessed. But my cousin was like a OG otaku. He was watching goddamn Gundam. Like he had like the G.I. Joes and shit and like Star Wars shit. Like he was like old school fucking anime. So, but like Sailor Moon, and then like my mom was like, Dragon Ball Z is violent. I'm like, girl, everybody watch Dragon Ball Z. But it started with Sailor Moon, and I was like, oh my God, I love this. Like I still have my VHS, I still have my comics, my mangas, my plushies. My daughter cannot have my plushies. When I die, they're to be buried with me. I got my keychain. Like, what you mean? I'm in groups. Like I got the Funko Pops. Like I am a diehard Sailor Moon fan. I love Tokyo Ghoul. Like I'm working on One Piece because Chomper is my baby. I love him so much. It's like I am like straight up. I'm a fucking nerd. I'm not a dork, but I'm a nerd.
did you get into gaming too, or just yeah?
My baby daddy ruined it for me, but I'm trying to get back into it.
How'd he ruin it for you?
You ever had somebody just stay on the game? Oh, the goddamn sir, there's vagina here. The fuck are you doing? Like, you know those memes where it's like a bitch in lingerie and her dude's on the game? I was like, you bitch. I'm surprised I got pregnant.
I'm telling you, I love retro gaming. I got 2 arcade machines in my apartment.
What you mean? I got my original Sega Genesis
There you
from
go.
1995. I have my Nintendo 64. I have a Super Nintendo somewhere. I got a PS2. We got the Wii. I'm looking for a GameCube. I love like retro gaming.
Yeah, it's the best. Oh, it's so good. What is the craziest thing you ever saw on stage? Whether you were on the show or you were watching a show or whatnot.
Ooh, it's levels to that shit. You know there's some places do like nude comedy.
No, what?
Yeah,
Wait, what? Like completely naked?
it's levels.
Is there a reason they do that? Is it supposed to make you more confident or something like that?
I don't know. I was like, you should do. No, bitch.
Yeah, no,
I'm not putting
good.
this moose knuckle on stage,
Yeah.
bitch. You got me fucked up. But like, that's the craziest thing I've seen is people doing nude comedy. Like during COVID, some girl was doing topless comedy to raise money for George Floyd, and I was like,
That's
bitch, what the
interesting.
fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? But it's just like people being naked on stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the craziest shit. And I'm like, I'm not knocking it.
Mm-hmm.
If that's your thing, that's cool. But no.
But you actually saw it. You were there and you...
No, I didn't know. I
No,
saw
you
like
just heard of
clips. But
Yeah.
that's the craziest thing I've seen. The craziest thing I've seen on stage, I saw a comic make somebody fall out their goddamn chair.
I've seen that too.
I saw a lady pass out when the comic came in, and her husband was like,
Oh, no.
bitch. Like, he was like, you bitch. Like, she fell out the chair. He was just...
She'll come back. She'll be fine.
No. The craziest shit I saw. This clip is online. If you look it up. D. Ellis. We were in fucking Shreveport, Louisiana. It was a dude there with no arms. This nigga roasted the shit out of him because the dude with no arms drove to the show. And dude be at the gun range, like shooting with his feet and shit. And D. Ellis just... Bro, look at... it's the... Oh, he was in the back dying. I was like, oh my God. Like, because dude literally had no arms sitting in the front row. And D.S. was like, you be playing with that pussy with those. I was like, oh my God.
But isn't he known for roasting like nonstop?
That nigga roasted me at my own damn charity show. I was like, you bastard. I was like, I'll never book you again.
Yeah, I've never seen him on stage, but I've heard of him through the grapevine. And I've heard
Miss
that
Cotton
he's...
roasted me. One of them talking about, oh, you kind of big. Try crack. I was like, bitch, what the fuck? I was like, God damn. I mean, maybe.
What's your writing style like? We kind of talked about it. You kind of just make it up. But when you did have to sit down and write, like, how would you do it?
I just had an idea and I'll write it down and then I'll go back and build a story around it. But what pisses me off, I have my best ideas when I'm in fucking traffic.
Yes.
And I'm trying to record that shit, or then I'll pull over and be like, or I'll do the dangerous shit, be driving like, I was like, why? Every fucking time my life is in danger, my brain's like, hey, bitch, you know if you really dope? You know if you really dope? This idea, bitch. And I'm like,
so you just write down like the idea and then you kind of play off of it, or do you write down like bullet points you said?
sometimes it just depends. Sometimes I have a whole idea for a joke, or sometimes I just have like one line. Be like the shit I said about Toro, it's like crack. Once you get on it, you can't get off. I was like, that would be really fucking funny if it didn't cost me so fucking much money.
Yeah.
So, or just sometimes I'll just come up, like, if I have a weird dream, I could write it down. So it's just different levels to it. But like with my writing, sometimes I like to let stuff become what it will. Like I wrote a short story for this contest. I never submitted it. I got back to it. It became a book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
My mom keeps asking to read. I was like, you cannot read this shit. Don't you?
So you haven't published it though?
Oh, I published it.
Yeah?
I published it. I'm not proud of it.
Oh, wow.
It's raunchy as fuck.
Yeah?
It's raunchy as shit.
What, why?
It's called See Me. It's just raunchy and ghetto and just dramatic and ugh. And like I had a group of 1,000 people to like reading like the little samples, and I like dropped the book, and they kind of pushed me to drop in the book early, and then I sold like 17 copies. I was like, you fucking whores! Like y'all made me rush this book. Y'all could at least help a bitch make $700. But I mean, it's just like it's a book I wrote, and it's like I kind of got tired of the characters because I was like with them every day, like coworkers. I might go back to it and revise it at some point, but I was like, damn, I'm tired of these motherfuckers.
So you self-published it then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Through Lulu.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. So what was the response from the 17 people? Like,
oh, they loved it.
Yeah,
because they love like the samples and stuff. And it's like I posted enough that they would get the general story, and then I just finished the book and I published it. But I mean, it's just.
What was that process like? How long did you work on it?
Almost a year.
Wow, that is
because I already started it, and then I just started writing and letting it go. Because if you look on my Facebook page, you'll still see excerpts from it and stuff, and it'll pop up from time to time. But it's just like I was like, let me just go with it and see where it goes, and because I've always loved reading and stuff, so you know. Yeah. It's like, at least I got a book, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you edit it yourself, or did you have somebody edit it?
I had somebody edit it, which I probably need to go through a professional source and have it done, but it was like $1,000, and I was like,
yeah, it's
no.
expensive.
I'm like, no.
I would send it out, but you got to send it out with money is the problem for publishers to even read it. So.
Oh, yeah, so I'm not even worried about it. It's just like, once I revise it and I'm happy with it, I'll start selling it with my merch.
And didn't you say your boyfriend wrote a book, too? Yeah.
Yeah, when he was 17, he don't like to talk about it.
Yeah, oh, he doesn't like it either?
Well, he doesn't like to talk because he wrote it when he was 17, so he's like, no.
Yeah, it's not
because he's on a podcast, and the podcast is like, oh, this book. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, no. It's like, no. But he's working on a really dope one now called Wyatt, and it's posted on, you can see excerpts on it, Facebook, Twitter. Like, it's really dope. It's like a post-apocalyptic mailman meets like there's some zombies, there are pirates. It's a lot. It's like, it's good.
Yeah. That's
but
awesome.
he kind of keeps like, let me perfect it. I'm like, it's perfect. Send it out. Like,
see, but he needs you to say that because as an artists are always perfectionists and like they're afraid to share anything. And that's why it's so weird because I look at comedy like it's an art form. You know what I mean? And it is.
And people don't respect that.
And it's very vulnerable. People don't realize how much it takes to be on stage, to find your voice, to be yourself,
to talk about the most fucked up shit.
Stuff. Yep. It's a difficult thing to do because you're giving your heart and soul to an audience, but you're feeding it to them with a spoonful of sugar, and you make the medicine go down, as they say.
But like that one time I got hit by a car. That's funny, right?
Yeah.
In your mind, I was in the hospital for 6 weeks of that shit.
Yeah. And then, but it's enough to make them laugh, and hopefully, you know. But that's the truth. Like when you speak your comedic truth, that's where comedy is so great because
that's a bit like Richard Pryor when he's talking about sucking dick, being all cracking out that shit. Like Richard Pryor
when he lit the match and he's like, "Who's this?"
Bro, that's my favorite joke. I was like, "What's your favorite joke?" This Richard Pryor running down the street.
Yeah.
Like.
But that's what I'm saying. It's hard to be on stage because, like I said, I crack fat jokes like at myself, and then somebody else made fun of me, and I was like, oh, I was like,
bro, what the hell?
I was like, what I do to you? But then I was like, oh wait, I opened the door, and let's be honest, when you look at me, we deal with stereotypes. That's one of the things that we do. So when you look at me, you're
like, oh my God, you're so jolly, bitch. I am not.
Yeah.
I am on antidepressants, bitch. I am holding it together. I need my happy pills. I got 3 of them hoes left. I'm like, hey, my doctor you need to go and slide this little refill through shit.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, when I am not medicated, I can write.
Yeah.
way more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, damn, it's either be level and feel decent or just feel like shit and right. And I'm like,
Yeah, the depression, because it's being creative helps fight it. You know what I mean?
people always be offering me weed. It's like, this me on regular. Why the
Yeah.
fuck would you do that?
You don't smoke weed ever?
No.
Never touched it?
I've touched it.
Yeah.
But like when I used to have I don't even know if you remember me, when I used to have a catheter in my chest.
Mm.
Like that's like the only time I really experimented with it, because walking around with tubes hanging out your chest, shit kind of hurts. But like I always get offered free drugs. It's weird.
Yeah, well, you're a comedian. I
it's
mean,
because I have a vagina. I don't know. I don't know.
that could be it too.
Because I be like, nah, I'm good.
Tit for tat. That's horrible.
Oh, in LA, baby, they be trying to keep me. Oh, you sure? You know what? I'm good. You got brownies? Good. I'm good,
See,
motherfucker.
you know that there's some of those
Look, and
crackhead
being
comics.
sober, a comedian, they roast your ass for being so. Like, I like to think, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm a female. I can't just be out here
Right.
because it's already hard.
Well, I want to talk about that. Being a female comedian, being black, what is it like in this scene or trying to do comedy? You know what I mean? Being black, people want to shove you into like one category of comedy. You can only do black comedy, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm ratchet. But the thing about me is I am also professional. I believe in being efficient and effective. So, like, there's that side of me. Like, I can go be ratchet, gutter butt, whatever you want. But at the same time, I'm going to be professional. I'm going to show up early. I'm going to ask you how much time you're paying me to perform for. I'm not going to run the light. I ain't people, oh, just go, keep going. No, you paid me this right. Unless you finna throw some extra dividends on that bitch, I'm not going over my time.
Right.
I respect the mic, and I get really irritated when people don't.
Yeah.
So it's like I am very professional above all. Being black, yeah, people have their stereotypes and stuff. Being a woman, the craziest thing I had to realize was I'm intimidating.
Yeah.
I am 5'1". I don't have no kidneys. My knees bad. I can't fight. I don't understand people being intimidated by me.
Because you're intelligent, you're smart, you've got that wit, and you're so quick. Because most people, what are they afraid of? They're afraid that somebody's going to know them better than themselves,
right?
And say something that is
I have a psychology degree too, so that doesn't help.
See, there you go. Right there. So whenever you say something that's so shocking to them, like, I can't believe she said that, you know what I mean? Or I can't believe that she went there. Like, they're afraid of that, and they see that on stage where, like, you're fearless. You go up stage and you know, you're like a tigress up there just doing your thing, you know what I mean? And like, you're vicious, but you're funny and you're kind and all those things. But once you get off stage, people see that and they're like, oh shit, this person's way smarter than me. And then that makes them nervous too. So,
and I feel like as a woman, sometimes if you do really good, sometimes it's to your detriment. I've had situations like that before, or I've had situations where I worked with this one headliner. I'm not gonna say his name. Like, it was me and another female comedian, and like he was just really vulgar to us that whole weekend, trying to get us to come back to their hotel room and stuff. And it's just like the sexual harassment. Like, yo, chill out.
Yeah.
Like, for real, chill out. There's a whole website where female comedians share the stuff they've been through.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a lot.
It's terrifying. It really is. And
Have you seen it?
Yeah, no. What I know about it, because you know, in the scene, there's comparatively how many female comedians and male comedians, and why is that? And you're saying the exact thing. Like, who wants to be sexually harassed when you go to an open mic? And that's part of it too. Like,
It's too
immediately with the roasting and stuff like that, they're going to go after women sexually. That is always the first thing
I've been
to do.
introduced on stage. Oh yeah, to come to the stage, really funny comedian. She sell pussy in the back parking lot. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, you don't even know me. Like, what the hell?
And that's what's so rough about it, is like, it begins with like mild sexual harassment, but it can lead to like what you're saying, where it's like, come back to my hotel room, that's partying, blah blah blah, and that's scary. Like, I don't care who you are, that's scary. If somebody was talking that way to me, like, I would be
pissed.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the headliner's like, oh well, you were mean. I'm gonna tell the club you were mean.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Because
like,
you
dude.
denied them?
Like, that happened to a female I know. Like, the guy she was like, no, I'm married, I'm not doing this. And he told the club that she was hard to work with, and they wouldn't book her anymore.
Well, that's the other thing too, is like, you were talking about like how they were telling you how to dress.
Yep.
and how to
You
to
shouldn't
act
say
on
this.
stage.
You shouldn't say that. You shouldn't.
And then you got to deal with the whole women aren't funny stereotype, you know what I mean? Which I think is bullshit. And I've used to think that, like, oh, women aren't funny. And then I started seeing these women comedians come up and crush and kill.
Yeah, it's like, it's not a gender thing, which is dumb to say, oh, you're not funny based on blah, blah, blah. That's just, it's stupid. But, like, I was raised with boys. I was the only girl. Like, I had 7 male cousins, my brothers and stuff. So it's like, don't fucking play with me, though.
Yeah.
Don't play with me. Like, this is Texas. I legally can carry a firearm. Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Like, bro, back up. Well, I'm a tomboy. Like I said, I grew up with boys. Like, I was out there. Like, I would play my Barbies, but baby, I had a Matchbox collection. I had Hot Wheels. I was playing with He-Man. He-Man and Barbie was in a relationship. Like, and like, I was playing Thundercats. I was wearing my big cousin's clothes. Like, I was at church in a dress with shorts under my dress. After church, I go pull that dress off in the bathroom, throw on a shirt, go outside and climb a tree.
Yeah.
In church socks with tennis shoes on. So it's like I'm used to being around guys, and so I navigate myself in a way. Like when we are at a comedy show, you're a comedian, I'm a comedian, we're coworkers.
Yes.
You're not a male comedian, I'm not a female comedian. Like people are, oh, comedian, I'm a comedian. Don't call me comedian, comedian. No, just I am a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we're comedians. And, like, okay, you got a dick, I got a coochie. Congratulations,
Yeah.
You want a cookie? The fuck? So, that's the way I see it. Like, okay, these are my coworkers. Like, sometimes I'll be the only girl on the show. Okay, y'all are my coworkers. Like, you know, I'm going to conversate, I'm going to vibe, I'm going to take the fuck off. Just like the same I would do with all female show. We come and we coworkers, we do this shit, we go. Mm-hmm. So, that's just... I mean, I treat everybody pretty much the same. Like, I've had instances where, like, people's girlfriends like, oh, what is he? Nope. No. I'm not telling you shit that's going on while we out of town doing the show. I'm not doing that. I understand I'm a girl. I'm your girl. I'm not doing that because at the same time, these are my coworkers. Mm. So, like, no. Like, I try not to get into people's personal business. So, oh, what did you... I'm not... I was in my hotel room. I was asleep. They party. I sleep. Oh, God, I love sleep. When I was in LA, everybody was in the comedy club. I was in the back of the damn rental, sleep, bro. Oh God, like that was the best 45 minutes of sleep I ever had in LA. I'm not going out. I don't put myself in a position to see shit and to violate people's No, we coworkers.
Yeah.
Just like we was at a job. Okay, we clocked out. Bye. Have a good day.
It's so weird because there's not an HR department in the comedy scene.
Bro, you know how fucked up it would be?
Oh, everyone would be done. Everyone.
You know how fucked up it would be if we unionized? Like, God damn.
Yeah, that would be crazy. So you do clean comedy too, right?
Barely.
Yeah.
I hate it. I'll do it, but I don't like it.
I was going to say, you could work your material into clean comedy pretty easily.
I do the stuttering boyfriend joke as a clean joke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I could see, but I hear it's not who you are as a person.
It's restrictive to me, but I'll do it. Especially the money right. I'll do it.
Do you do corporate events, stuff like that?
No, because you can't do self-deprecating jokes. You can't talk about race. You can't. It's a lot of stuff you can't talk about. I don't do colleges either because I'm like, somebody was just sucking fucking crack off somebody's dick in the bathroom, but I can't do a sexual joke. Like they was just gangbanging a bitch at this bar. I can't talk about. Now you did you go to college? Like, bro, like the fuck? Like,
I remember being 18 or 19 and Chappelle was coming through the college stuff.
Bro, that had to be crazy.
Yeah, and I didn't go see him, and I remember thinking like, man, I should go see him, and now I regret it. Like 20.
Now you're doing pop-up shows and as soon as shit.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
If he ever did here, it was sold out. Like with the time Fluffy came, it sold out so goddamn quick. I was mad.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I can't see my Fluffy brethren. Like shit.
Yeah. I mean, Ralph Barbosa just put 2 shows up, and he literally sold out like that.
Shout out to Ralph.
Yeah.
You doing good. Look, you doing good.
He's doing very good.
And I wanted to come see him, but I'll be in LA, or I'll be coming back from LA, and I know once I get out there playing, I'll be fucked up for 2 or 3 days.
I think what's going to happen with you is I think you're going to pop up and just be huge. I really do.
One day.
It's going to happen.
I hope so. It's just, I got a lot of stuff personally that I have to overcome. Like self-esteem wise, because comedy was one of the only things I really felt like I was just really good at, and it came naturally to me because I tried other stuff like singing and stuff. Like my mom, my brother, he's an amazing singer, but I'm a good singer. He's a great singer. My sisters, they're the cute ones. I'm the short fat one. I'm like, damn, I can't even, like y'all got all the height and I got all the fun. Like, no, people like, what you want to be when you grow up? I was like, tall. And I was like, but shit, it didn't happen. And then it's like, I see people, like I try to do stuff. I was like, and it's just not quite good enough. But then when I go into comedy, it's like,
yeah.
And like I try to stay humble, but then sometimes I be like, you that bitch.
Yeah.
They're like, oh shit, you did that shit. So it's like I gotta get myself to where I can just be raw and honest and have an open conversation when I'm on stage. Like I just saw Coco the other day, and she got out there and that was a conversation. That was an open conversation. This is what I love. This is what I hate. This is what I'm frustrated by. I'm giving you how I feel. This is how I see it. And once I feel like I can relax and just have a whole conversation where I'm not rushed and I can just be like, hey, let me just tell you how I feel. Let me tell you about my experiences. This is who I am. Love it or hate it. This is Jaljuda.
Yeah.
So once I can just get to the point where I can just relax and have those open conversations, I feel like that's where I'll start to excel. Like the way Ali Sadiq get on stage and just...
It's amazing. It's
pours
unbelievable.
that shit out.
And he sits down half the time, and he just sits
Look,
back.
I'm starting to get that shit. Cause
Yeah.
I
I know when I go to open mics, I'll just sit in the store and be like, all right, let's
I
talk.
don't even wear heels no more. Like,
Yeah.
I used to wear heels. Look, I be a tennis shoes.
Yep. That's the way to do it.
You see me in a fucking gala gown and some tennis shoes, don't say shit.
Yeah.
My Harley Quinn Converse say shit. You know what it is.
You got Harley Quinn con?
Hell yeah, I don't even wear them bitches. I just got them put up.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, fuck.
I didn't know you were such a nerd. This makes me so happy.
Because I don't talk about it on stage because like black people are just really getting into anime all of a sudden. People are like, oh my God, I'm sorry for teasing you back in school. My kid like anime. Fuck you and fuck your kid.
Do you know Angela Walker?
Of course I
Yeah,
do.
she's a huge nerd too.
I have always been a nerd.
Yeah.
I like puzzles. I like word games. I am on a 1,003-day streak on Duolingo. Like, I play solitaire.
Let me ask you one last question. What advice do you have for up-and-coming comedians, people who just started out like myself? What would you say to them to kind of get them on the right path? I'm
going to say this, which some people might not agree with me. Sometimes people do comedy when they should do therapy.
Yes.
And don't go to like them apps. Go to an actual therapist. Because some of this stuff you can work out on stage. Some of this stuff you cannot.
No.
Like, I love my therapist. Like, I can tell he used to smoke weed and fuck black bitches back in the 70s. Like, he's cool. But, I mean, there's no wrong way and there's no right way. Well, no, I want to say there's no wrong way. Don't take other people's shit. Just don't do it. Like, I've been to shows before where comics just ran Bernie Mac set the whole damn time. Don't do that. Find your voice. Try different stuff.
How do you find your voice?
By getting on stage, open mics. Like, that's the only way you're going to figure out what works for you. That's the only way you're going to figure out, okay, do I work better with this crowd? Does it work better if I write it and read it on stage at the open mic? Does it help me remember it? Also, write your jokes. Like, get a pen and paper and write it because it helps you memorize it. Like, I used to try to mentor these two kids. I was like, write it. Stop putting it in your phone. Write it. And they never listen. Motherfuckers not doing comedy no more. Write it down because it helps your brain remember those jokes. But you just have to experiment. Try different mics. Try the improv. Try Deep Ellum. Try Snookies. Like, you got to figure out what your crowd is. Are you good with ghetto crowds? You good with country crowds? You good with everybody? Like, what works for you? Like, Trey Mack, that is my baby. That is my baby.
Yeah, Trey's awesome.
He can do anything. I be telling him, live in your resume, because he can do cruise ships, colleges, come do ratchet shit. He can roast people. Like, and I remember when I first started doing, I remember when I first met him, he was like just a shy little kid. And like now he's like this bigger than life force. You have to figure out what works. Are you a cruise ship comedian? Are you a corporate comedian? Do you do strip clubs? Like, are you on OnlyFans telling jokes while you getting your dick sucked? Like, figure out what works for you. A lot of male comics have OnlyFans. Figure out what works for you. Figure it out.
I never even thought about that though. Like, hey, what's your niche? Where do you belong, you know, within this?
Like, so. Roxy Hayes, like, she is nerdy as fuck. Roxy Hayes, I say Roxy Hayes is me if I had confidence. Because that bitch cosplay, she talk about doing BDSM with a goddamn do-rag. She talk about comedy, she explain anime and comedy. Like, that bitch is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that would be me if I was confident in myself. I gotta work on my self-esteem.
No, I think you got this. I think that whenever you get on stage, you're a powerhouse.
I'm a student of comedy. I have so many Richard Pryor records. As soon as I find out Half Price Books I love old records. Like, they reprinting his record. I like the old ones.
Yeah.
From like the 70s and 80s. I got a Eddie Murphy. I have Mom Mabel. I can't understand shit she's saying on there because the sound quality is so bad, but I'm gonna figure it out. And I have books. I have books about comedy. Oh God, if you have not read Bernie Mac's autobiography, I ain't scared. Read it. It's one of the best comedy autobiographies. I just got Trevor Noah's book. I have Monique's book. I have Said the Entertainer's book. I have the Comedy Bible. I'm looking to get the new Comedy Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I have this thick ass history of comedy. Like, it goes back from slavery all the way to modern day comedy.
Oh, wow.
Like black comedy. I have a lot of books by Darrell Littleton. I am a student of it. I have Lucille Ball's autobiography. I am a student of comedy.
Dick Gregory.
Oh, yeah, I met him.
I did too. You know what? He actually nodded at me, and I thought that was pretty good because I know he's not a fan of white people. So I was like, if I got a nod, like an acknowledgement, I was like, right on. And this is about a year before he passed away. So
I met him in like either 2014 or 2015, and like I was standing outside of the club waiting for him to go in, and he just grabbed me like, let's take a picture.
Oh,
and
that's
we took
cool.
a picture, and I like, it's one of my best because I looked good. It was like the right angle. Like, I looked skinny and shit. My wig was popping, my tits look. I said, look at this. It's still on my face, like pinned. I was like, look at this shit. But yeah, like, I met so many people that year. I met Dick Gregory. I met Tiffany Haddish. I met Coco Brown. Like, I met so many people. And like,
how do you feel when you meet famous people? Do you get starstruck?
the only time I was starstruck was like, once you meet your hero, then everybody else is cool. Because I met Richard Round. Oh my God, Richard Roundtree smells so good. I was like, you smell like you need a young bitch in your life. like he smelled like he could be a sugar daddy. But it's like, once you meet like your heroes and stuff, everybody else is just like, okay. And then I'm like, oh shit, we're co-workers. They're like CEOs, and we like goddamn in the mailroom and shit. But you know, it's the same shit. And like, certain people are so down there. Like Coco, she's so cool.
Yeah, she's
like
very nice.
Like, she had me bring my kid up to the improv because my daughter was like, I will hide in your trunk. And I was like, hey, Coco. She's like, bring her up here. And she met my kid. She's like, hey, if you can't talk to your mama about it, call me. Auntie Coco got you. When I met Tiffany Haddish, she was like right after I was still dealing with my kidney failure and stuff. And we had a conversation. She gave me a number. She was really cool. Like, this was before she blew up. And, you know, she's like real cool, you know, just, you know, talk with. But like, I get like these people's numbers and I like, every once in a while, like, because I'm like, oh my God, you know. At the same time, I'm like, okay, be professional, be nice, you know, stuff like that. Like Rodney Perry, I'll text him everyone, hey, how you doing, Rodney? You good? You know, stuff like that. I'm name dropping. I ain't mean to be that bitch.
Hey, that's fine.
But it's whatever. But it's like, I communicate with these people, and it's like, once you get to know them, like on a personal level, because like on Clubhouse, I used to talk to Rodney all the time. Like, he think I'm funny as shit. He need to book me next time he down here.
Rodney.
Like, the improv need to put me on rotation.
Oh, I agree with you on that. I like that's what I told them over here. I was like, you've got to get her on rotation at the Addison Improv because you
remember I used to come to the open mic every week in Arlington. Like, I was in that bitch every day.
And that's when you came back. I think whenever I found out you were going to be on the Shucky Ducky show, I was so excited because Shucky told me that. So and I was like, what? Because I didn't know what happened. You disappeared for a minute.
I know. I was like,
she's back? I was like, that's so cool.
And the crazy shit, people like, you knew? No, bitch, I'm retro.
And that's what I love about that clip that's online is Shucky Ducky introduces you because I'm a huge fan of Shucky. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of him. And so I was like watching that clip today, I was like, that is awesome.
But shout out to Shucky. He had surgery. He's recovering from it right now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had broken his jaw.
No.
Got stung by a wasp, passed out, broke his jaw, and now they're...
He's such a hard worker too. He's probably out there mowing yards or something like that.
Did you see the picture he posted? I was like, he talking about somebody threw the chair. I was like, Shucky, stop playing.
Like, he's a legend.
The fact that like youngsters don't really know, like, you should know Shucky. It's like, I feel like if you a legitimate rapper, you know Slick Rick. Yeah. You know Cool in the Game. Yeah. You know, like, if you can't tell me what come after Lottie Dottie, you're not a real rapper to me. If you don't like the party, you don't cause trouble, you don't bother nobody, then so it's like people you gotta know.
All right, well, thank you so much for being on today. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Jaljuda, amazing.
Anything for Ducky. You know I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. You're going to blow up so big. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be insane. Like, it's going to be...
I hope so. Let's manifest it.
Yeah, no, right now. We're manifesting
Look,
it.
we need some of Erykah Badu coochie candles and just...
Yes. We can get Erykah Badu in here. Where is she at? She's like 10 minutes down the road, I think.
You know she's a doula.
What is that?
If I ever get pregnant again, she gonna deliver my baby. She delivers babies.
Really? I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Look, having babies with black women, I would look, Erykah. I'll get pregnant just so you can be my doula. like what you trying to do? Like just as a Badu baby.
Oh my God! And book Jaljuda. Everyone, book her.
Yes, book me.
Book her.
I'm funny.
She's hysterical. Did you not hear this the whole time? Like, it's ridiculous. All right. Well, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Support local comedy in any way, shape, or form that you can. And with that said, we'll see you on the next one.
Deuces!